Hello, it's me, Willy. I'm on the road again for the Sternsinger. This film will show you where I am now and what this is all about. I've never been to a country before where so many people live. Over 1.3 billion people live in this 7th largest country on our planet. And I must say right away, most of them are very friendly. I'm in India. Located in South Asia, India is 6,000 kilometers away from Germany and about 9 times as large. Amid all this teeming life, there's a lot to see. Men with long beards and turbans. There are even cows in the middle of the road, and monkeys and camels. Most of all, I want to see how children live here. India is the country with the highest number of child laborers in the world. Estimates run as high as 60 million working children. You can find them at fruit and vegetable stalls, as newspaper boys, or selling food at snack stands. Many of them have never been to school. They have to work all the time. Children are cheap labor, particularly for large companies and factories. Boys, for example, work in quarries, and girls manufacture cheap fashion jewelry. I'll meet one of the children producing such jewelry on my journey. She lives and works in very tough conditions. I'll also visit a man who tells me about his health problems and how he worries about his children. I will meet a freedom fighter, Dilip. He's committed to helping underprivileged children and is trying to free them from a life of labor. And finally, I'll meet a girl who, thanks to the Sternsinger, doesn't have to work so much anymore and can now go to school. Just like in many other poor parts of our world, the poorest of the poor in India live in slums. This word roughly means poor neighborhood. Many houses aren't connected to the main water supply, and the sewer is an open gutter, which is why diseases can spread so quickly. The Sternsinger partners have given me an address. I'm trying to find it right now. I want to visit a girl who apparently has to work all the time and has never gone to school. She's in the back room of this house. Her name is Neetu.
Namaste.
Hello, I'm Willy. It's pretty stuffy in here. Ooh. Neetu seems so absorbed in her work that she hardly knows I'm here. May I ask you what you're doing here? You can even smell those fumes in the street outside.
We have to melt the loops together.
And what are they going to be?
These will be bracelets. Women wear them as jewelry.
I've come to India because I'm interested in the children working here. In Germany, there's no such thing as child labor. Do you have to work every day?
Yes.
How many hours do you work?
I start at 5 in the morning. I take a break around noon. Then I continue working until 8 at night.
That means you really do work all day long. How old are you?
8 years old.
And how old were you when you started to work?
After my father died, I was 7 then.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Neetu's father also melted glass loops together. The toxic substances given off by the process damaged his lungs so much that he couldn't breathe anymore, and finally he died. This happened 7 months ago. Since then, Neetu's family hasn't had the money from his work. That's why she has to work now. And how much money do you make?
100 rupees per day.
That's about €1 to €1.50 per day. Do you get to keep the money?
No,
Who gets the money?
it's for our family. We buy food and we have to pay for the gas to make the flames that melt the glass.
I can't even imagine that, because childhood is supposed to be about playing, going to school, hanging out with your friends. Do you have anything like that in your life?
No.
Would you like to go to school?
Yes, very much, because when I grow up, I want to be a doctor.
Meeting Nitu is devastating. 8 years old, she sits in her room, cut off from the rest of the world. She's literally being robbed of her childhood. Without going to school, she'll never have the chance of a better future. And then, the dirty work with the gas flame is jeopardizing her health. Nitu, thank you very much for answering my questions. I wish all of you, and especially you, all the best.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye-bye. Nitu is not the only child in the slum who has to work. Many children here must work very hard every day to contribute to their family's income. It's very difficult for me to see all these children working. Children shouldn't have to live like this anywhere in our world. Next, I'm going to visit Papu. He's the father of a family. He has been melting glass loops together for over 20 years. One of his daughters helps him with his dirty work to produce glittering bracelets so that other people can decorate themselves. May I ask, how's your life, melting glass all day long?
Glas schmilzt.
It's very difficult and I don't feel well. This work has made me sick. The fumes are destroying my lungs and I have trouble breathing.
All this enters your lungs.
I inhale this stuff constantly every day. No one lives to be over 40 doing this work. Normally you might live to be 100, but with this kind of work it's impossible. Still, I have to do it. I have no choice. We need the money to survive.
Are you worried? You just said that with this kind of work you won't live to be older than 40.
When I get up in the morning, I cough very hard. I do fear for my life then, but most of the time I think about my children. I'm very worried about them. What will they do when I'm not around? What will their future be like? I'm always worrying about my children.
This is your daughter. What's your name? You didn't tell me.
Jyoti.
Jyoti.
Jyoti. And how old are you, Jyoti?
Jyoti. Wie alt bist du?
I don't know.
She's 5.
Jyoti is 5 years old, but she still has to work alongside you.
What choice do we have? We work from morning till night, and we only earn 200 rupees. That's less than 3 euros. It's barely enough to survive on, and we need to eat. If the kids didn't help me, we wouldn't make enough money. I wish they could go to school.
With Jyoti, I've met a child of preschool age who has to do hazardous work all day long. That's impossible. No child in the world should have to work like this. And if this labor prevents children from going to kindergarten or school, or if it damages them physically or mentally, we call that exploitation. And the exploitation of children is illegal. That's laid down in the United Nations Conventions of the Rights of the Child, which applies all over the world to every child. I leave the slum. On my way to my next meeting, I'm full of thoughts about everything I've heard, seen, and witnessed. One man committed to children's rights in India is Dilip Sarwate. I'm looking forward to meeting him because I've heard that he is a peaceful freedom fighter who has already succeeded in liberating many children from poverty. His work is supported by the Sternsinger donations. How is it possible that so many children have to work and are literally being exploited?
This is a big problem in our country. In India, millions of children have to work. Many families are so poor that their parents can't earn enough money by themselves. So the children have to work and help with the family income. And that means they can't go to school.
But there's such a thing as children's rights. They apply everywhere. Children have the right to an education, to go to school, and most of all, they have the right to be protected from exploitation. Why is this not happening in India?
One of the reasons that many children are exploited is the caste system. It divides us into different castes. We can't interact with people from another caste, we can't eat with them, or even sit next to them.
Most Indians are Hindus. Many followers of the Hindu faith believe that people are divided into separate groups, the so-called castes. Every child is automatically born into their parents' caste. And this very often determines their future profession and even who they will be allowed to marry. Castes separate people from each other. The poorest are at the very bottom of the caste system. They are also called the untouchables. They are considered impure and are often excluded from society even to this day. Many untouchables live in extreme poverty. The government abolished the caste system many years ago in 1950, but still today it lives on in the minds of many Hindus. The freedom fighter Mahatma Gandhi fought against the caste system. He fought for the right of the untouchables to have a life without hunger and poverty, to gain an education and to take the choice of profession. For Dilip, Gandhi is a great hero. In addition, there is another hierarchy in India. Men rank higher than women. After that comes the children. And a distinction is made between boys and girls. Overall, girls are the worst off. Much more often, it is the girls who have to stay at home and work from an early age.
I come from a very poor family. I had 11 brothers and sisters, of which 3 have already died. My parents are illiterate. I'm the only one in the family now who knows how to read and write. But I too was a child laborer. I worked in the fields with my father. Therefore, I couldn't go to school as a child and I missed out on a lot. That was hard. And even today, I still feel the disappointment. The things I could have learned and done as a child. And that's why I'll always fight for the rights of children. The life of child laborers is harsh and unfair. I know that from personal experience. What can you do with your life if you don't have any education? I firmly believe that one day every child will have his or her rights and go to school. Of that I'm certain. I will never lose hope.
How do you do it? How do you liberate children from poverty, from labor?
You know what? It's best if you see for yourself. Come on, I'll show you.
Right.
Okay.
After I've explored life in the city, Dilip is now taking me to look at life in the Indian countryside. Children have to help by working from an early age, doing things like kneading cow pads. It's an unusual job, but it still needs to be done. The people can't afford to buy firewood, so they burn dried cow pads to cook food and heat their houses. Apart from agriculture, many people in this village earn their money by knotting rugs. Dilip introduces me to carpet maker Salma and her mother Mariam. For 2 years, he's been helping these two with his project. We walk with Salma to school and her mother Mariam to a women's group. Wow! So, this is the official school.
No, the public school is far away. We founded this school ourselves. It's part of our work to support the children.
The school is especially for girls who wouldn't have another opportunity to receive an education. Here they learn the things they will need to lead a life without poverty when they grow up. The mothers of the pupils have gathered next door. They've all brought their saving books because this is about money. Dilip's project lends money to women. Not large amounts, but enough to be able to make small purchases like a goat or a cow. Many women have already paid back their debts by making their animals' milk into butter or cheese and selling it. With the money he lends them, Dilip develops the women's business sense. When they can make enough money for their households, it's much easier for the women not to make their children work anymore and to send them to school instead. A great method. You're getting everything sorted here and it really seems to work.
That's right. I'm pretty enthusiastic myself about it all. It's great to see the women taking care of themselves with just a little bit of help. We help them to help themselves. Now, more and more, families are managing to get along without our support.
After school, the girls have to get to work on the rugs. Salma and her mother Mariam invite me to their house. While Salma is taking a short break, Mariam starts knotting right away. Did your life change after Dilip invited you into his project?
The project has made our lives better. My children can go to school now. I'm a member of the women's group and I can borrow money. We have enough food. And most importantly, my children have to work less than before.
Which is a good thing, because making carpets is hazardous to one's health. The woolen fibers cause sustained damage to the respiratory system, just like the melting of glass loops. In addition, the quick work with sharp tools is not only physically exhausting, but also detrimental to the joints. What is your vision for the future? What do you wish for you and your family?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to send my eldest daughter to school. But at least Salma can go. So my greatest wish has already come true. I also wish to have enough money one day to marry off my older daughter and help my son start a business. I'm positive the women's group will help me with this.
Well, I hope that all that comes true. I'm crossing my fingers for you. Ah, there's Salma over there. Salma is sitting on the flat roof, having her lunch break. I see you're aiming high. May I join you?
Sure, sit down.
Thank you. What are you having?
This is roti, a flat loaf with yogurt and spices. Try some.
Very tasty, but also very spicy. So, what does a normal day look like for you? I mean, no, it's similar to one for a German child. You grab a bite after school. What are your plans for the afternoon?
Well, after lunch, I'll be knotting rugs again.
Okay. And her mother is already expecting her downstairs with the rugs. Salma's days are tightly planned. And aside from work and school, I wasn't able to spot any spare time in her daily schedule.
By the way, I can knot faster than my mother.
How many hours do you have to work on the rugs every day?
Monday through Saturday, every afternoon after school, and all day Sunday.
Wow. What's easier for you? Maths, reading and writing at school, or this knotting?
Learning. It's much more fun to learn. And much better than knotting rugs.
Do you have a dream profession you would like to pursue later on?
I would like to be a teacher, but first, of course, I need to finish school. I hope I'll make it.
I hope you will too. Salma, Mariam, thanks a lot for allowing me to visit you and for granting me this insight into your lives. And Salma, I wish that you have more spare time soon and don't need to work at all.
Dankeschön.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Salma and her mother have shown me how their visions for the future are full of hope and courage. Even though work makes her ill, 5-year-old Jyoti must help her father. Without her labor, the family would not have enough money to survive. Ever since her father's death, Neetu has had to work. From early morning until late at night, she melts together glass loops so that people with money can decorate themselves. She's 8 years old, yet she has never once been to school. There are not enough schools in India, and they tend to be of a low standard, so Dilip and his helpers provide lessons. Thanks to the Sternsinger support, the children have to work less, and many families have the chance to escape from poverty. For Salma, the moments when she can play are much too rare. After school, she still needs to work several hours every day. Until now, child labor was just a problematic term. But with Salma, Jyoti and Neetu, this phrase now has a face. 3 faces, in fact, of 3 great girls who, like all the children in our world, do not deserve to be exploited and to work so hard. We can all help to protect children at risk. Whether we are shopping at a store or online, we must make informed choices to see whether the goods we plan to buy have been produced fairly. There are seals and logos to indicate this. This way, we can all give working children the chance for a better life.